You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
We're about to get started with our first community Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. We're about to get into our community's questions on all things wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging. Excited, as always, to be able to answer your personal questions. Always look forward to this, one of the highlights of my week. So we're about to get started, but before we do that, just kind of a little update. Anyone that is they can't wait the 3 weeks for the answer to their question, please, what I highly recommend is just going to cabralsupportgroup.com and logging in with your Facebook account. It's a free group. You can just request to join, and you can actually get probably your questions answered, I would say, within 24 hours. A lot of people don't know this, but my health coaches, Julia and Caitlin, do an amazing job of answering questions over there. And those answers are coming from me a lot of the time. So I might not write it with my name, but they're sending me a screenshot actually of your question. And then I'm getting back to them through text essentially with the answer. And that's essentially how we do things behind the scenes. And that's because I'm not an advocate of email. I don't like checking my email throughout the day because I get so many emails. It's simply impossible for me to keep up. So that's how we do it. And if you want really fast answers to your questions, just go to cabralsupportgroup.com. Feel free to even use a search box to search for answers in the past. Connect with other people there, all like-minded, positive people. No need to apply if you're not a positive person, but we do want to help you with any struggles you're going through. That is not being negative. That's us allowing us to help you with that. It's just people who are complaining all the time. We just don't have the brain space for those type of complaints. But what we do want to do is help you on your journey into health, wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, all of those things. So please feel free to reach out there. If you want it personally answered by me, you're in the right spot. Simply go to stephencabral.com/ask Cabral, and then you can submit your question there. Probably about 3 weeks or so later, I'll be getting to your question on the Cabral HouseCall. Okay, so the first question today, we're going to get right into it, is from Andrea. She's writing in, "Good evening. I have been listening to your podcast for months now, and I'm thankful for them. Each episode is jam-packed with information to optimize my health and teach me so I can share it with others. I'm a personal trainer and have been approached by people who take and sell Isagenix Products. I am not sure if you have heard of this line, but want to get your thoughts on the products. Thank you so much in advance, Andrea." So Andrea, I'm actually going to cross out your last name so we make sure we don't put that in there. And I'm always happy to read your name and prefer to keep your name in there, but I don't like to include last names just in case people are searching you. Your name might pop up there as well. Okay. So here's the thing with Isagenix. I don't talk negatively about any products. I think in general, they try to do a great job with their company. However, I don't recommend them. Why don't I recommend them? Well, I recommend only functional medicine-based products. So I can't, out of principle, recommend an Isagenix-based product. Why am I doing that? Am I just being mean to non-functional medicine-based products? Well, I guess yes and no. I'm not trying to be mean, but essentially, I know they now offer some dairy-free products, but the problem is, when you look at their shakes, they contain, I'm reading their ingredients. So again, take it for what it's worth. You decide if it's right for you. Whey protein concentrate, milk protein concentrate, non-fat dry milk, fructose. Now, are those things that I would want to put in my body? No. Do I want them put in your body? No. It also contains xanthan gum. You've heard me talk about this before. Don't believe in putting xanthan gum in your body. Also, what happens when it's a non-functional medicine-based company formulating product? They put things in there like cyanocobalamin, which is B12, but not the fully methylated form and absorbable form of B12. So I wouldn't want that in there. And then also they use folic acid and not 5-methylfolate. So of course you're not going to be able to absorb that folic acid as well, and it can build up in your body. And instead of using things like P5P, paradoxal 5-phosphate, or paradoxin 5-phosphate, they use the hydrochloride-based form, which is fine. Again, not the end of the world, but not my favorite form to get it at. So essentially what I'm saying to you is that I recommend functional medicine-based companies. That's essentially it. Pure Encapsulations, Thorne, Orthomolecular Medicine, Integrative Therapeutics, and of course, the company that I formulate for, which is called Equilibrium Nutrition. So I'm the formulator for that. We have a whole team that runs that, but I'm the formulator. I'm the one that says this ingredient is okay, this ingredient is not, and they cost a ton of money for us to actually make those products. If you ever found out how much money it actually costs us to formulate those, you'd be shocked because it is so expensive. But the truth is, if I'm putting that in my body, my two young girls' bodies as well, my wife's, my family, everyone in my private practice, and you, it has to be the best of the best, which is why I'm not willing to cut corners. And so if you have a functional medicine doctor or a naturopathic doctor formulating products, they're simply not going to put in those products into their products, which is why I don't recommend them. All right, next question. Again, I'm not saying they're bad people. They're not bad people. I'm just not recommending their products. All right, Lily's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Absolutely love your podcast, especially the house calls. There are so many different subjects you tackle, and it's so great that you give references to specific episodes if your listeners want to know more about them. I've learned so much from you and can't thank you enough for that. Now, I have a health question, which I'm hoping you can help with. My problem is that I feel bloated, look 6 months pregnant, and have flatulence after almost every meal. I'm 39 years old and have had problem with this for maybe 10 to 15 years. I'm vegan for 5 years now, don't eat gluten or sugar, have regular bowel movements every morning and work out 5 to 6 days a week, do yoga, and really not stressing too much. I only eat raw fruit in the morning. In my smoothie, cutting dairy and gluten has helped a little bit, but still pretty bad. I also do intermittent fasting, use probiotics, digestive enzymes, but nothing is helping. Other than PCOS, I don't have any health conditions I'm aware of. So what do you think is the problem? What would be the best first thing to get better? I live in the Netherlands, so I can't order any of your labs, unfortunately, but advice on how to start treating would be much appreciated. Thank you so much in advance. Okay, so 10 to 15 years dealing with this product, 39 years old. Here's the bottom line. You can be eating very healthy foods, but it's not going to remove the candida and bacterial overgrowth in the gut. And surely you have that, okay? If you have flatulence after meals and you're eating good foods, well, the fructo, oligo, di, mono, and polysaccharides in healthy foods can be affecting your current gut population. So here's what we need to do. We need to remove the gut overgrowth of bacteria, which is why probiotics in your case is not the answer. If it was the answer, you'd already be better. So they're not the answer. You know that. It's time to do something different. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to run an organic acids test. Feel free to ask a local functional medicine practitioner in the Netherlands, and there are those people there because I actually studied in the Netherlands. I studied there under a Dr. Premdani in the Netherlands, so you're certainly welcome to see him. I don't know if he specializes in digestion, but I was there studying microscopy, live blood and dried blood microscopy with him. I was studying functional medicines in terms of nutritional supplements. I was studying different colonic-based methods because literally he's the number one practitioner. He doesn't do them, but he has that in his practice. It does infrared. It's phenomenal practice. Really, really great. I loved going out there. So a shout out to him. And what else? Ideally, you're running that lab test and then you're doing our candida and bacterial overgrowth protocols. One day we'll be able to ship to the Netherlands. The problem is it's not that we don't want to ship across the world. We do. The problem is that it literally costs us like $80. That's no exaggeration. $80 to ship to places like Australia sometimes. I mean, it honestly does. And even though that's what it costs, it feels wrong for me to charge $80 for shipping. But the problem is that's what we have to charge because we don't have like this crazy margin on our nutritional supplements because it costs so much just to produce them. So we can't like charge our normal rates and then not charge for shipping. So the problem is in the future, we'll have to just charge you exactly what it costs us. And we'll be able to do that with better real-time weighing of products and all that. So again, we're working on that. We're trying our best. But if you want, look at our candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol. Try to match that up with things that you're able to get in the Netherlands. That'd be the first place that I would recommend. But that is really what you have to do. All right. Thomas is up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. Love your podcast. I'm 43, 6'2", 175, eat healthy, gluten-free, exercise almost daily. Took a blood test. My hemoglobin A1c was 5.7, which is a little high. Like I said, I eat very healthy, have a low glycemic diet. I went on a 30-day no sugar diet. Did the test again. I had the same results. They did not budge. I then decided to test my blood sugar on my own every day, before and after meals, early in the morning. Everything came out great. Very good reason. So my question is, should I be concerned about my hemoglobin A1c is 5.7 and cannot be able to change that? For the record, my parents and one of my sisters also has the same 5.7. Is there anything you think I should do? Please let me know. Thanks, Thomas. Okay, so Thomas, here's the good news. 5.7 isn't that far out of range. I look for 5.6 and below, definitely below 5.8. So you're right on the cusp. If everything else in your blood work, which means your fasting glucose on a daily basis, is 95 or below, if your 90-minute to 3-hour glucose, if you use that glucometer after meals, drops back down to 95 or below on that glucometer, you're doing great. Now, here's a little insight. Why might not have your hemoglobin A1c budged after 30 days? It's because hemoglobin A1c, a lot of people don't know this, it actually doesn't change for about 12 weeks. So what you need to do is keep on that great nutrition plan that you're on and actually test it after 90 days to 120 days of being on that plan, because that hemoglobin A1c is going to be an average over that period of time. So let's get you back on that plan. You sound like you're doing great. My highest recommendation is to do the 21-day Dr. Cabral detox. Highest recommendation that will help better balance out blood sugar, help you better utilize carbohydrates. It will then teach you how to better introduce the starches after that period of time, allowing you to do essentially 1 cup of fruit in your smoothie and maybe 1 cup of starch at your lunchtime meal or just after workouts as you're coming off the Dr. Cabral detox. Certainly more vegetables, lots of good fiber. And that, I don't want to go overboard. So that's what I would do. I would do the daily probiotic support and I would do the daily fruit and vegetable blend afterwards, after the 21-day detox as well. So essentially hop onto the Dr. Cabral daily protocol after your 21-day Dr. Cabral detox. That's what I would do. Let us know how you did. I'd love to hear that, especially in our support group after the 90 days of doing that, and then get your hemoglobin A1c records again. Okay. Excellent question. Michael's up next. Michael's asking, Stephen, I've been experiencing inflammation either of my eyes for the last 24 months. I went to primary care and an eye doctor who called the issue Episcleritis. Sorry, that was broken up into actually 2 lines. Frequency was either eye being inflamed every 60 days or so. Doctor prescribed an artificial tear product that didn't seem to change the frequency. They tested for rheumatoid arthritis and did not find anything. Last May, I had a daily multi, extra C. 6 months before I had a recurrence. Then I had several redness, inflammatory pain in either eye. Is there any recommendations beside the increase in vitamin intake, preventative? I typically double up vitamin C, take ibuprofen during the inflammatory events. Is there any other recommendation for treatment during the event? Appreciate your podcast. Heard you on EO Fire and appreciate your approach. Thanks, MLC. All right. So, yes, we can do more. All right. First of all, anytime you see anything, so when your MD, PCP specialist is giving you big words like episcleritis or anything that ends in itis, you're essentially talking about inflammation. Itis, inflammation. Itis equals inflammation. Okay. So we have inflammation of the eye. That's simplest terms. That's essentially what it is. So now, though, if you heard my podcast, you heard my interviews on other shows, you have to understand that inflammation is not a disease, right? So we can keep trying to use anti-inflammatories. I agree. That would help, okay? Anti-inflammatories would help, especially natural-based protocol or natural-based anti-inflammatories like the theracumin that we recommend. Let me put that in the show notes. I highly recommend the daily omega-3 support because the omega-3 support with the EPA and DHA of the levels that we have it in there are going to help with the eye, actually, because your eye is made up of a lot of fatty acids. That's going to help tremendously. All right. Carrot juice or higher levels of vitamin A will help as well. So that's a fantastic thing to do. Of course, I would do the Dr. Cabral daily protocol. So you get your 22 organic fruits and vegetables that are juiced in that powder. You get your functional medicine and you get your probiotic. I would definitely recommend the alkalizing vitamin C. That's actually a new product of ours. It's an amazing product. So you can go higher dosages on that. It's a buffered-based version. Or you can use the full spectrum vitamin C. If you don't want to go too higher dosage, you want to get some actual food-based vitamin C, you can do that as well. I would do zinc. I would do 15 to 30 milligrams per day. I would do also a very special eye-based product, okay? A couple of antioxidants that we know helps the eye. And that is lutein and zeaxanthin, all right? I always pronounce that a little off. It's typically pronounced zeaxanthin, though, by most people. And so that is a great product. I'm going to link that up in the show notes. Everyone today, go to stephencabral.com/715, okay? 715 will be all of the products, any recommendations that I recommend, any previous podcasts, I'll link them up there. What else am I going to recommend today for you? Now I recommend getting at the underlying root causes. All the recommendations I gave you will help with the inflammation. And certainly it's helping because you didn't have a recurrence for 6 months. So you're certainly on the right path. However, what's this inflammation coming from? Okay, that's what we need to look into. Let's run an organic acids test and let's also run a hair tissue mineral analysis. The hair tissue mineral analysis will give you a look at any heavy metals. So that's a great thing to do. And they'll look at your mineral levels as well and stress on the body. Now, the organic acids test will look at gut function. It will look at mitochondrial function, liver detoxification, B vitamins, vitamin C. Great lab to run. You just won't use your vitamins the day before running that lab. Simple urine at-home test that most people should be running for overall health of their body because it runs 75 different biomarkers. Really, it's an amazing test. Really is amazing. Can't recommend that in the hair tissue mineral analysis. Enough. If you'd like, you can run an omega-3 test as well, which will show you omega-6s to your omega-3s before you begin omega-3 supplementation. But that would really be a second-tier lab test after you would run those first two. Highly recommend that. And of course, if you haven't already done a detox, well, then you should be doing a 21-day detox while you're doing these other nutritional supplements, okay? Run your labs first, do the 21-day Dr. Wall detox, and then take all of those very specific recommendations I gave you for the eyes. All right, Angelita is up next. Angelita says, I'm 63 years old, 5'6", 140 pounds. Exercise on a very regular basis, love my smoothies, eat well, and exclude anything white in my diet. Angelita, that sounds fantastic. You are on the right path. Let's see what's going on, though. Am on medication for cholesterol, blood pressure, and Paxil. I'm confident that these meds could have been avoided if I'd been more informed on diet when I was younger. Throughout the last 40 years, I've been always physically active and hope to continue. I just discovered your insightful podcast. Truly confused on what I need to take for multivitamins. There are so many out there. What do you recommend for someone my age? I live in Quebec, Canada, and our winters are quite long. Do I need a mineral boost throughout the season? Thank you. Angelita, okay. So Quebec is basically the same temperature and seasons as Boston, so I definitely understand what you're going through. Right now, as I record this in January, it's bitterly cold. We had 2 weeks of like sub-zero temperatures. Although we don't usually have that cold of weather, it's not ideal. It's really not. It's nice to experience all 4 seasons here in Boston, but the January through March is just brutal. It really is. December's palatable since we at least get to celebrate the holidays and New Year's, but after that, it's just no fun at all. So I know what you're saying. The simplest thing is this. Go to stephencabral.com/store, or actually, you know what, better thing, just go to stephencabral.com/715, which is today's show notes. Now, what I'd like you to do is just check out our multi. It's called the Daily Activated Multivitamin. You would take 2 at breakfast, 2 at dinner. Anybody who's taking literally 1 capsule or 1 tablet of a multi a day, you're not getting enough. You can't jam enough in there. You can't. We tried. We couldn't. It's just that's the way it works. So you want to take a multi that's actually going to do something. You also want to make it functional medicine based. So like you heard in my first question, it has to have the methylated versions. If not, they can build up and become more toxic in the body. That's why you'll see random studies that show, oh, this vitamin's bad for people. This one's, well, again, they're using synthetic, poorly made, non-absorbable products. When you see B12, it should say methyl or adenosylcobalamin. When you see folate or folic acid, it should say 5-methylfolate or nature folate. That's the natural version, which your body can absorb. So again, either use ours, which I formulate for Equilibrium Nutrition, or use some other brand that you like, such as Thorne or any of the others are great. An easier thing to do is this. Just do the Dr. Ball Daily Protocol. I mean, that's all you need. So now you get a multivitamin, you get a mineral, you get your antioxidants inside of your shake every morning. So now, not only do you not have to just pay for a protein shake for your smoothies, because you get that with the daily nutritional support, but you get your multivitamin in that, you get your mineral in that, and it's like literally $2 a serving. There is nothing in the world that compares to that. There's not. We give you that at such, I believe, a phenomenal price, $2 a day for everything. $2 a day for your protein powder, for your multivitamin, for your antioxidants, for your liver support, for all of your minerals. I mean, it's trace minerals. It's phenomenal. So there's that. And then if you want to do the daily fruit and vegetable blend, which is part of the Dr. Ball Daily Protocol, now you get 22 organic fruits and vegetables that have been juiced, dehydrated, and put in powdered form. And then you can do your daily probiotic support. Easy. So this is what I recommend. You need to do more than that, though. So what I recommend is the 21-day Dr. Ball Detox. I know I've recommended that a few times today, but a lot of people aren't balanced yet. So Angelita, here's the thing. Believe me, I've been through what you've been through. I know that you could have eaten better when you were younger if you had better education. The problem is, here we are. We're here we are today. We need to deal with what's going on right now. So let's get healthy, all right? So what I want you to do is the 21-day Dr. Ball Detox, follow the Dr. Ball Daily Protocol, try to follow the same transition diet off of the 21-day Dr. Ball Detox. If after testing your cholesterol 12 weeks after you began all this, it's still not down to where it should be, same with blood pressure, well, then I can't recommend to you enough that you run the hair tissue mineral analysis or the thyroid adrenal hormone panel, and then add on the organic acids test if you want. Here's why. You will then get my personal recommendations, all right? You can also, of course, become a private client, but I'm not, I just don't recommend that to people because I don't want to push people. That's not what my practice is all about. Because we can help you. We really can help you rebalance the underlying root causes which are causing the high cholesterol, causing the high blood pressure. I did a show on high blood pressure. Check that out. Go back to that episode. I give all the content away for free. I'll tell you right now, I honestly don't believe there's anyone in the world that I can't help to rebalance their cholesterol and blood pressure levels. I don't believe it. I honestly do not believe that because I've never met that person. The most skeptical person came to me about 2 years ago, super skeptical. They serve in the board of many hospitals around Boston. They said, I've had high cholesterol for decades. You're not going to be able to help me. And I said, okay, are you willing to follow what I give you for recommendations? They said, I will, but I don't believe that it's going to happen. And I'm getting my blood checked again in 4 weeks. That's all they gave me, 4 weeks. And I want to see if it works then. Well, 4 weeks, I said, is a little fast to get this thing changed. But if that's all you're giving me, good, then I'm going to help you. And they were literally shocked that their cholesterol came down to normal. Now, this is a person who has all of the best doctors in Boston, specialists, right? And again, air quotes, all of the best doctors in Boston, air quotes on that. Because again, they're phenomenal, but they're conventional medicine doctors. And again, I love conventional medicine doctors, nothing against them. They're great for acute care, but they're not going to help you. They're not going to help you naturally lower cholesterol. They're not going to help you naturally lower blood pressure, naturally help you, improve mood, any of those things. So what we did was we helped them lower their cholesterol through a rebalancing protocol for cholesterol. And again, gone within 4 weeks. And then they came back to me and they said, this seems impossible. I don't know how this happened. We need to do a research study on this. And I said, that's not an interest of mine. I said, if you want to run a research study, happy to participate in that, happy to actually be a consultant for that study. But I have no interest in my life being about getting conventional medicine to be convinced that natural medicine works. I don't need that. There's no ego involved in this. I try to give everything away for free. If you want to prove it, great, good for you. I really don't have an issue with that. That's totally fine. So anyway, that's where I'm coming from. I just want to let you know that there's no hocus pocus. This is all based on science. Everything I recommend shows that it rebalances this, shows that it rebalances that. And it works. Bottom line, it works. You just follow the plan. Then you start to wean off of what we can. We see how your body adjusts. And if your body still maintains, well, then you're good to go. If your body needs a little bit of supplements, which is natural, plant-based compared to a statin or anything like that, which is actually, believe it or not, statins actually come from plants, but they've been synthesized and they've been able to be patented. So don't let anybody fool you. Most pharmaceuticals are actually from plant-based medicine. They just patent them so that they can actually make trillions or billions of dollars off these products. So I know that was long-winded. I'm going to make that my last question for the day because I don't want to shortchange anybody, and I've already gone to the 23-minute mark of the podcast. I do try to keep it at about 25 minutes or under just to respect your time. But I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Do tune in for that. Thank you once again for tuning in. Really do appreciate each and every one of your listens and also your shares and most of all your reviews on iTunes. I read every single one and I can't thank you enough to everyone who's left a review on iTunes. Thank you one and all. Take care. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.